Hosts Don Getling and Gino Franti.
Time to leave you all because this is our favorite 2 hours of the week. Every Thursday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. right here on AM 1220 KHTS. Your resource for real estate.
Real real estate?
Yeah, real estate. And financial information to help make sure you're in the know. And getting the information you need to know to help make quality decisions that can change your life. And that's what we've been doing now for 3 years, Gino. It's side by side here, with our great guests like Paul Dinkel today, just having a great time.
Yeah, and I think he just hit the nail on the head. It's just that poor representation can just cost you dearly. So make sure you don't and it's not just in real estate, really. It's real estate and anything financial, almost anything in life. The cost of bad advice is just too great to bear sometimes.
That's a good thing. Okay, so Paul, we're here with Paul Dinkel with Remax of Valencia. Really great quality guy. I mean, I've gone camping with him. He's a quality, great guy. Him and Tracy are like family to me, and I always love working with you, buddy.
And we had to stop that practice because you snore too loud.
Yeah. Well, I've lost 40 pounds, so maybe not now. Yeah, but it's nice to work with people that are quality individuals that are just passionate and sincere about life and just good people. And if you notice, the people we bring on the show and the people we work with here at Cherry Creek are those type of individuals. We have learned to work with people we like, people that we know are accountable, people we know are good quality people, professionals that our clients come back to us and say, thank you for referring me to Paul Dinkel. Thank you for referring me to Lou Esbin or Steve Corman, Newhall Escrow, and so forth. These great individuals. And Paul, I very appreciate your friendship over the years.
Oh, I enjoy it too.
And okay, so let's talk about. I wanted to go into the good, bad, and ugly, and how you change that, because working in this industry as long as we have, there's something a lot of you don't understand that happens sometimes behind the scenes, and that's what we bring out. That's why this is a live show. It's a real show with people you can trust. Is there's something you got to be careful of when we were just talking about choosing the right agent and choosing an agent from out of the air. We're not picking on all of you, but there are some that don't have the right goal set for their sellers. They're looking out for their best interest. Wouldn't you agree, Paul?
Oh, definitely, Don.
Explain a little bit of what you've seen. I'm not going to say I'm making this stuff up. You see this.
No, I see it day in, day out. There's out-of-area agents that will put listings into the MLS. They will have typically one photo, and the photo will usually have cars and garbage cans in the driveway, so it's not a real professional presentation of the property. They will not have a super box on. It's by appointment only through the agent, and you can never reach the agent. And oftentimes they offer 2% or lower commission, so there's really no incentive for most agents to even want to show that property. It seems like they want to sell it themselves. And
seems like you're being very nice.
Yeah, I'm being very nice, but the disadvantage to the seller is that instead of having 10,000 or more agents actively trying to bring buyers to that property, it kind of gets shrunk down to that agent trying to find his own buyer for that property.
So he's trying to double his commissions, basically.
That would be the probable
cause
for that kind of action.
So okay. You mentioned professional photos now twice, so I will share that I'm kind of starting to be in the market for a home myself, and I've been poking around every night online, looking at pictures. Let me tell you, the ones that have 3 or 4 pictures, it's not enough. You cannot see a home in 3 or 4 pictures.
Way.
No, and the MLS allows you to put 35 photos in.
One versus 35. What do you think?
Yeah, so that's and people, in addition to nice photos, they want to see video, and you're shooting yourself in the foot if you don't put a virtual tour on the listing. And the virtual tour, if you use a professional company, a lot of them will syndicate that tour to hundreds of the top real estate websites. So you're maximizing the online exposure for that property.
Which is imperative these days.
Yes.
They say it used to be 90% of all buyers go online. Now it's 100%. They all go online. All of you go online to look at homes. I know I would. Gino does, anyone. So it's imperative that you have that online exposure, obviously.
Absolutely. And when you interview an agent, one of the key things you should look for is, do they have a marketing plan on how they're going to market that property?
What a concept.
I have a 35-point marketing plan. There's not enough time to go through that, but it has a lot
That'd
of features.
be another show, Paul.
Yeah, another
the whole
show.
show.
but there's a lot of things you can do to really, maximize the exposure of the property, which brings competition, which ultimately brings a higher price, and it's more money in the pocket for the seller.
You just mentioned a few different. Obviously, the photography was one of the tips. The virtual tour is one of the tips. All of it relates to the right commission. Some people might be trying to save 1% or 0.5%. That's another thing. If you're paying full price, there'll be more agents bringing. Unfortunately, that's a reality. Is that if the commission offered to the buyer's agent is higher, there'll be more buyer's agents showing your property.
Absolutely.
Fact of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reality of today's market, there's fewer sales for agents, so they have to maximize what they earn on each sale. And if they have a choice of looking at a 3% or a 2%, I can tell you they won't even show that 2% listing.
Yeah.
So tips from the trade.
Exactly. So, okay, so you're also suggesting that you need to ask, when you're talking to an agent and stuff, ask it what is their game plan. Don't talk about, how much energy they have or this, that. They need a game plan. And what's nice is when you have a game plan, whether it's your marketing plan of how you're going to sell your home, or it's your game plan of how you're going to finance the home, knowing what to expect changes everything. It changes how you negotiate. It changes your stress levels. It changes your decision making. All these things make a difference because it's imperative when you're considering purchasing the largest asset, and in most cases the largest debt you'll have in your life. So structuring that correctly with the right team, the right professionals, can change your life. And Paul, I know you have a game plan. I'm looking at 35-point marketing plan. That's a lot of effort. Most won't even write that down on a piece of paper. You have it as a marketing plan.
And one of the points in there is to get the client or the seller, to get the buyers pre-approved. And I can't control who a buyer uses for a lender, but I can certainly have them file a double app and have somebody that I know, like Cherry Creek Mortgage, look at that client to see if they're solid. If they're not, then I'm not going to accept that offer.
Well, that may sound kind of far-fetched to some that are listening, but just last week we call those cross approvals, right? And so just last week we were doing...
You're protecting your seller by making sure that that buyer
Absolutely.
can purchase that home. Okay.
Yeah, so a seller had contacted us and says, hey, can you please check out my buyer? Actually, their agent, doing a good job, said, can you check out the buyer? We said, sure, no problem. So I called the loan officer, sounded very competent when I talked to him on the phone. I said, that's okay. Well, I still need to look at the paperwork to back up what you're telling me. And sure enough, we're looking at the paperwork, and there was one little thing that seemed out of place. And actually, Don Sinovich caught this on our team. He goes, this is kind of odd. And I go, well, then what about that? And then what about this? And then what about that? And pulling on that one little piece unraveled the whole transaction, and that borrower was absolutely not qualified for the program they said they were going to use. They would have had all kinds of problems. Even if they would have finished the transaction, would have been a surprise. So the seller was able to move on and find a better buyer.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've been going over some great information. Again, Paul, thank you for bringing out, some great tips on how to choose an agent, meaning reputation-wise, their background, their experience. Ask those questions. Ask the questions of the real estate professional you're talking to. Or call Paul. How do they get hold of you, Paul?
They can call me at 661-510-3042.
One more time.
661-510-3042.
Of course, I already know that by heart.
So do I, because yours starts the same. So sometimes I see the number come in, and I'm like, is it Don? Oh, no, it's Paul.
So he'll
and I'm
take
very
your
pleased.
call.
I take Paul's call all the time.
All right, great stuff. Paul, thank you again for joining us. Thanks for doing a great job, as always, with your clients. I'm very pleased that they always come back to you. And, again, reach out to, what's your website, Paul?
It's my name, which is Paul Dinkel, PAULDINKEL.com.
Great show as always, Paul. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you, Gino.
Thanks, Gino.
And please, join us. Gino us. Join us this Saturday at the Push-Ups for Charity at Afterburn Fitness, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And join us every Thursday from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. right here on AM 1220 KHS. Go to our website at donandgino.com. Thank you very much.